Good evening and welcome back to West Talk. Today is Tuesday, October the 18th, and let me tell you, I have missed you guys in this studio. You might have noticed we've been running reruns for the last few weeks. It's because my wife and I got to take a honeymoon that was 4 years delayed, and so we spent some time in Portugal. And I just want to say, any Newfoundlanders out there looking for a cool place to get away that feels strangely like home, I recommend Portugal, in particular the Azores Islands. Just like Newfoundlanders, except the weather is better, but you'll notice a lot of familiar things. For instance, a staple of the cuisine is codfish and salt cod, and it's everywhere you go. The people are warm and friendly, just like here at home, so can't recommend it enough. And it's also fairly affordable, so a good escape for you guys if you're going to travel anywhere this winter. But happy to be back, and we've got an exciting episode for you here today. But first, as per our tradition now on this season, we're going to introduce you to a book. And today we've got a children's book, which I look forward to stealing and bringing home to read to my kid. This book is written by Samantha Baker and illustrated by Don Baker. It's called A Baby Whale Ventures North. The North Atlantic Ocean is home to a wide variety of wildlife: whales, dolphins, fish, and seabirds, just a few of the creatures that live in or near the sea. Join a humpback whale calf as she discovers many new sights and sounds during her first summer in the waters surrounding Newfoundland. Though the world around her constantly changes, one thing remains the same: her mother is always by her side. How sweet is that? Go purchase this book at some fine Newfoundland book retailers and enjoy it together with your young one. All right, right into it with our first guest, someone we've been looking forward to chatting with for this whole season, someone you'll recognize from seasons gone by. With us now from the city of Corner Brook, Miss Glenda Sims. Glenda, good to have you back.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Yeah, you've had a pretty rock and roll summer, hey?
Yes, it's been crazy. Great cruise ship season.
Yeah.
A tourism season in general, I think.
Seems like one of the best cruise ship seasons in recent history.
It is. It is the highest number I think they have of cruise ships coming in this year. I think there was 22 or 24 booked.
Yeah.
I think, as far as I know from the port, it's up to 30 for next season already.
Now, we ended up getting some extra ships this year, right? After like the hurricane thing. Can you explain how that went down?
From what I understand from Jen and them at the port, when the weather, obviously the weather diverts sometimes ships to different ports of call. So sometimes if they miss a port, they'll try to fill it with another port.
Right.
And luckily we were able to accommodate them.
Right, because I think like in PEI, maybe some of the sort of port areas there were a little more affected by
I would think,
the hurricane
for sure.
versus our lovely protected harbor here in Corner Brook.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think we're lucky on that in that aspect. Actually, the Corner Brook port, like I've said before, is one of the prettiest ports I've seen in my travels. And I'm glad that we did get the extra ships, but at the same time, we of course hope that PEI is fine.
Yeah.
The pickup of ships was good because we were able to quickly add some music and some vendors down in the city square, and the port was able to accommodate them, so that's great. It's better for them to have a safe port, and the captains and the safety officers on board a lot of the cruise ships, from my experience, are very, very adamant about safety.
Yeah.
So if there's any chance of an unsafe environment, they're not going to dock.
I don't think they mind coming here either.
No.
Some of the, my takeaways from guiding with the cruise ships this year is that Corner Brook is shockingly to me like a favorite port for a lot of the people who work on the ships. They love coming into Corner Brook. They love spending that day hanging out in this town. And, you've obviously, maybe people don't know, but you used to work for cruise lines and travel with the ships all over the world. What is it about Corner Brook that you think makes it such a unique cruise destination of all the cities on the planet?
Like you just said about Portugal, it's the people. When you arrive into a port like this and you feel welcomed, it's a warm welcome, and you feel like to a lot of travelers, Corner Brook is an exotic destination, which people that live here all the time and it's your everyday, the environment, you get used to it. But when you come here from somewhere else, it's the warm, welcoming nature that you get from the people. So, and of course, this time of year, the foliage. I mean, we can't, a lot of people will travel for the foliage. But I think the experience in general is usually I would think, a good one.
Yeah.
The Sky Princess did dock, which is the company I worked for, was Princess Cruises prior to this position. And some of the crew members on board messaged me, and they had taken a walk into town. It's easily accessible. People were able to, if they only had a couple-hour break, the staff or the crew members, officers, whatnot, were able to take a little jaunt into town and experience what we have to offer, and the same as the passengers. So you get a little bit more feedback from them that's positive, because time is usually quite short.
Was that the biggest ship that came here this year?
I think it was,
It's a huge one, and it's
I should
new.
check with the port before I say that, but
That was a
I
big
would
one.
think it's the biggest one, yeah.
Wow.
So the Sky Princess is in the, I think the royal ships of the Princess line. So the Royal, the Regal, the Majestic, the Sky, and now the Enchanted that's been sent out.
Right.
So yeah,
Cool.
I've been on a few of those ships, but
Yeah.
some of them are newer now.
Yeah.
Since
love
I
those.
left.
Love it. Love the Princess Cruise Lines in particular. Well, so we wrap up this big summer now. Here we are in the fall, a beautiful time of year to be in Corner Brook and in Western Newfoundland. And of course, we have Halloween right around the corner.
Halloween around the corner.
Yeah, what's the city cooking up now for Halloween this year?
Well, last year we put out like some, a little graveyard and some blow-ups, like Halloween, inflatables on the Majestic line, and handed out treat bags,
Nice.
which was great. But we still had some COVID restrictions in place. So now they're a lot more lenient, obviously. So we're able to put back on the Spooky Train Ride.
Spooky Train Ride.
Spooky Train Ride. I'm afraid it's going to be too scary for some kids, or not scary enough, that kind of
No.
thing. So I'm just going to wing it.
Yeah.
And we're just going to enjoy it. And if it's too scary for some kids, we'll make sure to have, we have probably about 40 inflatables going up on the Majestic line.
Right.
So there'll still be things for them to do. And if it's not scary enough, then, they can go to the haunted houses that are going to be happening in town too.
Well, how do you make a train spooky besides
Well, I'm gonna-
simulating a brake loss and it flying down O'Connell Drive?
I'm going to black out the train, with the black curtains.
Yeah.
And then inside, I'm going to hang some spooky items,
Yeah.
maybe some noisemakers, maybe a jump out thing or two. I'm not going to
Ooh.
give away my tricks.
Yeah.
But I scare easily, so I'm hoping that I make it scary enough. But there will be treat bags, and there will be, the ride itself will just go down West Street and back up Park, because last time we had thousands come out. So
Yeah.
I want to make sure that the ride is not too long, but at the same time it's enjoyable.
Yeah.
And I don't want to send it down over the hill towards the construction zone with it blacked out.
Right.
So safety-wise, we're doing fine. But for Glenda's ease of mind,
Yeah.
West Street and Park Street will be.
Cool. No, that makes sense, right? Just to keep that queue moving a little faster.
Exactly.
And so the starting point is going to be that station on West Street there, right,
Right.
kind of next to Tim Hortons. That's where people will line up.
Exactly.
Cool.
And then there will be, treats to give out and stuff. I'm working on like hot chocolate and things like
Yeah.
that. I don't know if I could throw it out there, but if there's any not-for-profit that would like to make a little bit of an impact that day, they're more than welcome to reach out to me, and they want to do something with hot chocolate or something.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm more than happy to let a not-for-profit come on board and
Take that
and take part
opportunity?
and take the opportunity. That definitely, 100%.
Cool. I'm sure someone's going to hear this and take you up on that, because any chance to sell a little something to a couple thousand people is great,
It's
right?
Something, yeah, especially
Yeah.
for raising money, and even want to come give out treat bags or anything like that.
Yeah.
Reach out to me, and I should tell them my email, gsims@cornerbrook.com, and
Right on.
we'll make sure to get them involved. Same as during Jigs and Wheels this summer.
Yeah.
Everything was not for profits.
Yeah.
The amount of money that was raised for not for profits was made all the work.
Yeah. Well,
You
it's a good
know.
exchange. You involve these groups, it gets a little bit of labor and a little bit of promotional support, and then they get a chance to do some fundraising. So that's
Exactly.
like the best case scenario, I think, for how a city in particular should run
Operate.
events. Yeah.
I'm glad that.
Yeah. So Spooky Train, that's on the 29th, is it? That's
Yeah,
a
I'm going to do it on
Saturday
a
night?
Saturday evening.
Yeah.
That's where I cut you off. I'm always cutting you off. On Saturday evening,
bad.
we're going to do it on Saturday evening, 5 to 9. It's just a lot easier because there's haunted house events going on throughout that week, and then of course Halloween on Monday is not really the ideal night because at school the next day kids are up too late if we try to do too much. So I'm thinking Saturday evening, why not? They can dress up, if they want to, and come on down.
Yeah.
And if not, they can come in their regular clothes. Either way, they'll get a treat.
Nice. Oh, sounds awesome. Very good. I'll be down there. I'll take a little spooky train ride, and
down.
I'll be sure to bring my young fellow down. And what other types of things have been on the go with you and around City Hall? Just how's things looking in there now?
Things are looking beautiful. We have a portion of our Hervé manual artwork that's put up It's the salmon going to sea, so or up the river, down the river. I never know what to say. I got to call Dan and ask him. The salmon are going somewhere.
Yeah.
So when you enter into the atrium of the city hall now, there's 2 pieces put up of the fish, the salmon going, and it's all blown art glass with steel.
Nice.
And then right now, where our garden used to be, we had to remove the garden, and so we have. Today, actually, and this whole week, Hervé Manuel is in place installing a 12-foot moose and trees and pitcher plants and birds.
Amazing.
And everything.
All glasswork.
All glasswork, all blown art glass.
Right. And
We had a great come home year funding opportunity from the province.
Yeah.
We had to extend a little bit because of obviously, not obviously, but because of like steel and things like that. Like sometimes right now, some things are still hard to get hold of coming out of COVID.
Yeah.
And, you know.
Yeah.
I feel like we've been out of it for a while, but still there's some after effects.
There's some lingering annoyances for sure
Yes.
coming out of this.
So, but she's installing this week and is looking beautiful down there.
Glenda, this is we're coming on the end of our interview now. Is there anything else you'd want to say to the people watching West Talk this evening or the viewer at home?
Come out, get out, see what we're doing, find out what's happening, and enjoy yourselves with what's around you. We do have one more thing I should have mentioned, though. We do have a Corner Brook public art initiative that we've started with the Rotary Arts and the Tina Dolter Gallery, as well as Grenfell. And we have a public art committee that we've put together that we will be putting out some, working to support the public art community, or the artist community. And we have 3 pieces right now. One is the crow that's up by the Corner Brook sign, which has caused a lot of a lot of online
A lot of discussion.
a lot of discussion online. And we've also have the 22 stepping stones down on the Corner Brook Stream Trail near the Ducks Unlimited area.
Yep.
And then, of course, the quilt that was hung over by the Corner Brook Stream Trail on the Bowater side. Unfortunately, the quilt has managed to vanish. So, if anyone has wind of where the quilt is, sail it back in.
I was cold, it was wet, what can I say?
Yeah, it was a storm, so.
Yeah, that's right. Well, Glenda, thanks again for coming down here, and anything else that we need to discuss over the next few months, please let us know and we'll have you back.
No problem. Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. All right, and that was Glenda Sims. We'll be right back after this quick break to give you an update about what's happening this winter at Marble Mountain. Stay tuned. And we are back, and with me now, an interview I'm very excited to put forward for all of you, a chance to get caught up to date on what is going to be probably the best ski season in memorable history. And to talk about that, we have my good friends, Mr. Richard Wells, General Manager of Marble Mountain Resort, and Wayne Hicks, Inside Operations Manager. Boys, what a summer.
No kidding, it's great.
Yeah, the first summer ever, I think, that Marble Mountain was open from, April to now.
Lots of great energy this summer, yeah.
Yeah. And, for me, it was really fun to just be part of the history of it, going through every week knowing that no matter what happens, the doors are open and there's people coming in here, and that's cool.
Yeah.
How do you feel looking back on the summer about, how it went and maybe what next summer could look like in comparison?
Yeah, personally, this is something that, I've wanted for a long time, is seeing Marble at a 4-season concept. So, seeing people, families, all across the base. I loved it. It was great. Next summer, for me, I'd definitely like to see, things like Bishop's Tavern get to a little bit more of a 7-day operation.
Yeah.
Maybe a few more weddings during the summer, but really excited to see all the concerts and good stuff that we put forward for sure.
Yeah, and wet our feet into the mountain biking world.
Well said,
and, do you think that's something that you'll want to expand on next year?
Certainly feel confident in saying that next year we're targeting lift access mountain bike riding.
Yeah.
So looking forward to it.
That'll be huge. And Wayne, you were a big part of getting the villa back on the go and online. I think, taking reservations all through the summer, again, for the first time in like a bunch of years. How did that pan out?
Well, with Villa, we kind of moved to a online platform. So we basically took an Airbnb, Booking.com. We're looking at Vrbo, Expedia. Basically, our bookings this summer was double our normal.
Right.
So, our vacancy was really well this year, and, the Villa really made a lot of money for us this summer.
Yeah. Last winter we all joined this team. Richard had been on the team for a number of years, but, essentially a new team and a new vision happened last year. A winter of reacting to everything, and now here we are getting ready to go into the second winter as a team. How are you feeling about this, Richard, looking forward into the next 4 or 5 months?
Well, seeing the growth of where I've been over the years and you know, the team that's assembled now, I'm confident that we can handle anything that's thrown at us. Last year, you know, we had pretty much everything other than dinosaurs and unicorns or whatnot. So, you know, we're ready for whatever's going to throw at us. And, you know, knowing that we've got our feet wet for a year now, we're that much more prepared. So, again, I'm just confident that we can handle anything.
I fully agree. And I know this year there is a lot more value and options on the table for people who are looking to buy season passes, new pass types and all that. We'll get into that in just a second, but can you sort of paint a picture of how Marble is positioned this year versus last winter? You know, we're talking about snowmaking, lifts, things like that. What should people expect?
So operationally, we've invested some into snowmaking this year. We're going to get 2 new wands, raising our total to 19 snow guns in total. We're going to be getting some new valves, some hydrants, some hoses, booster pumps. So, you know, we're going to be focusing on different operations this year, getting going a little bit earlier. We're certainly targeting sometime during Christmas. Mother Nature will be, you know, the key player as to if we hit that, of course. All 3 chairlifts are in operation. We did do some upgrades to the Lightning Express. We're looking at doing some downloading, so even a fall tour coming up here in the coming weeks to get people circulating the chair. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The Black Mariah, really happy to say that Lettner Palma did install the cable that's been on the ground for a couple of years. So for us, seeing that moment when it finally got spliced and put around the towers there, it was a big moment for us.
Big milestone.
Yeah, no kidding. So they've got to come back in November to install a sprocket. But the plan is definitely to have the Black Mariah chairlift fully operational.
Yeah.
Still some minor repairs to do on the Newfie Bullet. Once our manpower kind of, you know, figure out what's happening with the Newfie Bullet there, or sorry, the Black Mariah, they'll move into the Bullet. So,
priorities.
You know, again, we'll have all 3 chairs spinning this season for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, that's huge. That in itself is huge for the users of the mountain, right? So, and is a big value add. So, more lifts than the last few years, more snow presumably, you know,
So
certainly a
fingers
higher
crossed,
capacity, and a lot of chainsaws going on the mountain right now as well.
No kidding. We've got 2 groups out on the mountain right now. One group is cutting a new gladed ski run for us off of Country Road.
Very exciting.
And opening up the old power line off of that area as well.
Wow.
Another group is, you know, cutting the named runs themselves off of Marble right now. And they'll be moving into cutting a little bit more trails for us on both the west and the east side. So we're really excited.
That's really exciting. And like I was telling someone about this yesterday, giving a little sneak preview, right? And explaining how the transmission line and then a glade run little pass that are going to be open. And they're like, hang on now. You know how many times I got my pass clipped for trying to go down the transmission line?
Not anymore,
yeah.
Well, as a diehard skier, I know every rock up there by name and, you know, little treed zone. So certainly going to try and give back to the community, and every year, you know, want to put forward a few more trails.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great way to do it. And certainly it's terrain that, like you and many other people really want to ride and they want to get in there. So why not just make it safe and open it up to people, right?
You got it.
I think that's awesome. And Wayne, now our friend came back. Mr. Early Bird flew on into the villa the other day, and now he's here, which means it's time to put Early Bird passes on sale. And that they are. The passes went up October 15th for sale online. And so far the feedback seems to be people are really excited about all the different pass options and different ways that people can sort of spend their money at Marble this year. Can you touch on a little bit about that, about what's new for the person who's going online and what they might see that's a little different than past years?
Sure. So the first thing I want to talk about is pass protection. So talking to a bunch of other resorts across Eastern Canada, basically there's a protection called, or pass protection. Anyway, it's basically what it is. It just gives the customer a peace of mind that, you know, if something happened in their life, they can get their pass value back.
Like an insurance.
It's almost like an insurance on like a TV if you bought it at Walmart.
Yeah.
You know, you pay an extra fee. It's it's a peace of mind. So what that would cover would be injuries, a sickness, or even things like if you got called away to go to work somewhere else off the island. So that's going to be a good one for us.
So things you have no control over. You buy
Yeah.
your season's pass. The next week, you unfortunately injure yourself or have to go away. You can now get a refund, a prorated refund on your
Yeah.
pass.
So it's a peace of mind for the customer. And then we have a new pass type as a weekend pass. So mostly what we're trying to do there is trying to, build the market from St. John's and Central, that people come over 3-4 times a weekend. They now have value in a season's pass.
Yeah.
So that's a big one for us. I think that one's really going to take off.
Just the convenience alone, let alone the savings. Like someone from
100%.
out of town now being able to, who only have a couple days to get it in. So now they come, they have this pass. They don't have to wait in lineups to get their day
Exactly.
passes and stuff. I think that's really smart.
And we do have a weekday pass now. So we do have a few riders that, they don't like the hustle and bustle of the weekends.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen is, they have an option to buy a weekday pass. With that pass, they ride all week from Monday to Friday. And, if they do want to ride on the weekend, we do offer a discounted ticket.
Yeah.
Vice versa with the weekend pass, we do offer a discounted ticket if they want to ski in during the week.
Right, so I can buy my weekend pass because I know I'm mostly going on the weekends, but then that odd Monday or long weekend, I can go and get a discount on those days as well.
That's right.
Cool.
And if you look at, we have a household pass, which is 3 passes.
Yeah.
It's 2 adults and a child. You can add an extra child for $99, or you can add 4 children for an extra $99 per each child.
Yeah. And I guess for everyone else, like who might be slightly outside of those groups, there's still huge savings during early bird. If you're a single parent or whatever, it's you're saving hundreds of dollars per pass right now by buying.
We're calling it a household pass.
Yeah.
It's based on 3 passes, but savings are there for all family types.
Yeah.
Is what we're looking at.
Yeah.
We want to make it easy for the user.
Yeah, for sure.
That's our goal.
Yeah, totally. That makes a lot of sense right now. And early bird's the time to buy, no matter what the composition of your household or family or whatever. Early bird is the time if you're interested to save money, right?
Huge
Cheap,
savings,
cheap.
Yeah,
It's
cheap.
We love early bird. Well, that's a pretty good update on that. And so, when are we thinking that the season is going to be open? You mentioned Christmas time. What would be your dream date? Mother Nature plays ball. What's the perfect date?
December 27th, 28th, roughly, pretty much immediately after Christmas and Boxing Day. We know that we want that. We see the value in being open for Christmas. Everyone's chomping at the bit to get their new gear up on the mountain.
Yeah.
Everyone's off of schools, obviously, so certainly that's what we're targeting this year.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we don't have here with us today Mr. Adam Bishop, but I know, because I'm on the inside, that there's lots of exciting things that'll keep happening with Bishops, and actually about to launch a brand new menu in this week that people can keep an eye open for. So that'll be great. And then what do you think the experience inside the lodge and Bishops is going to look like for people this winter?
Yeah, great question. You might be able to better answer that one with some of the entertainment and whatnot you've got planned there. But just always updating, having fun in the mountain. We're more than a mountain. I think we proved that last year, that whether you ski or snowboard or not, there's always a fun time to be had at Marble Mountain.
Yeah, totally. Yes, and that brings home really a good way to sort of end this segment of the interview, which is, a direction that we started going down last winter is opening up the hill to non-skiers and snowboarders and making everyone in the region feel comfortable.
Yeah.
We definitely have the same vision this winter, would you say?
I agree, most definitely. It was
Yeah.
a very profitable campaign for us last year with, snowmobilers, for example, the amount that they showed up and spent for sure. It was impressive to see.
And people who just wanted to come up and try a nice coffee from the Grossmorn Cafe, or Slopeside Cafe, sorry. So
and then with the barbecue that we had and the higher end cocktails, I think we're just getting our feet wet right now. And if people have faith in us last year, I think this year is going to be tenfold as to the amount we're going to improve.
I totally agree. I think that's really well said. And I think that's the perfect way to leave this off, actually. If you enjoyed last winter in the face of all the adversity that existed, then the 2023 ski snowboard season is going to be amazing for all. And if you don't ski or snowboard, you should consider trying out some of our Learn to Ride programs that are really affordable or just come hang out with us. Spend some time, enjoy the entertainment, enjoy the food. It's always a good time at Marble Mountain. Boys, I want to thank you. I know everything is crazy busy right now getting the hill ready for the season, so I appreciate your time coming down here. And if you do see Early Bird, let him know I'd like to speak to him. We tried to nail him down for this interview, but he's been very flighty lately.
He's flying around.
Yeah. So if you do see him, please let him know. We'd like to get him in here for a little in-person interview.
Yep.
A lot of people think it's you, but obviously it's not.
It hasn't been me for a long time,
No,
actually.
It's not even a person. It's an Early Bird.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens there. Anyway, boys, thank you very much. Get back to work. You've got lots to do.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back to wrap this up. Stay tuned. Okay, we were going to end this episode, but you're not going to believe it. I just walked out of the studio across the street, and I found Early Bird. He was at Dollarama getting treats for Halloween, so we seized the opportunity here in the studio. Early Bird, thank you so much for coming down here. I won't take up too much of your time. I just have a few quick questions for you, if that's all right. Awesome. First of all, I want to know, why is it that you return to Marble Mountain every year? So many ski hills all around this country. Why Marble? Yeah, fair enough. Well said. I appreciate that. And then, a lot of people are asking, why should people buy your pass, this Early Bird pass that you promote so hard every fall? Why should people buy that? Okay, all right. You're pretty excited, pretty worked up over this Early Bird pass here. I can tell you're excited, but why don't you tell us, what are you most excited about when you think about the 2023 ski season? And that's it for this episode of West Talk. I want to thank Glenda Sims for coming down from the city to give us the scoop, as well as my friends Richard and Wayne from Marble for telling us how this season is going to look. And of course, Early Bird, who came in here and graced us with his presence to let you know you need to save big right now, today, and go to skimarble.com and buy those passes for this upcoming season. Until next week, take care.
If you have a comment about this program, we'd love to hear it. Email or call us, or send us your feedback through social media.
When it comes to drugs, how much freedom is too much for kids?
Drugs are out there. Will my teen feel free to say no around other kids?
I didn't live drug-free when I was younger. Can I admit that to my kids?
Drugs worry me, but how can I feel free to talk about it with my kids?
Questions about drugs and kids? Drug-Free Kids Canada.
Watching hockey just got a power play with NHL Center Ice and Super Sports Pack. With up to 37 out-of-market NHL games a week, you'll always catch your favorite team no matter where you live. Whether it's big matchups you're looking for or following your top fantasy picks, it's all here. NHL Center Ice, part of the Rogers Super Sports Pack. All this for only $35.95 a month. Order through your remote on Channel 450 or call 1-888-ROGERS-1 today.
We can be hurt. We can be bruised. We can be broken. Slowed down, confused, and even numb.